Yeah, so we're going to be streaming live on YouTube.
Do you just do audio on YouTube or do you do video as well? How do you?
We do video as well. But I mean, if you're not comfortable having a video on stream out there, sometimes it can be very invasive.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I've got everything switched off that might actually make sounds.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going in pretty soon. Just trying to set myself up here. Have all my notes ready to go. All right, we're going in.
I shall read you a passage from my first novel.
Stories
Studio.
and literature from the African perspective. The power of the story lies in the hands of the storyteller. Prose, poetry, drama, thriller, fiction, and reality. Africans must tell their own stories. The Book Review on Smooth 98.1.
All right, we're going in. Studio. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Good morning to you and welcome to the Smooth Book Review Show. It's another beautiful Saturday, the very first day of May, the very first Saturday of May. Ooh, it's exciting to see that the year is rolling by and almost coming to an end. I know we're in May, I know, but work with me here. You're welcome aboard to the Smooth Book Review Show. The dial is smooth at 98.1. Love music, love life. My name is Judith Atibi, and good morning to you. As always, on the Smooth Book Review Show, what we do is just it's all about African literature, giving a platform to African storytellers, authors, and just amplifying African voices as much as we can and trying to bring representation to literature as much as we can. That's what we do here on the show. So if you are just tuning in for the very first time, you are welcome aboard to the show, and we're going to get right into it today. So today's it's going to be a very good one as well. Last week, I did a show on a children's book, and I thought, you know what, why not just continue on a children's book? And today is no different. It's also, given that I'm female and I'm an African woman, I go looking for African writers that are female as well, and also characters that are also about women or young girls, because we're all about female empowerment here on the show. So today's going to be a very special edition as well. As always, to be part of the show, you can always join the conversation on WhatsApp or stream live on YouTube as well. Our WhatsApp platform is 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. You can also tweet at us. We're at Smooth981FM, but make sure to use the hashtag Smooth Book Review Show. Okay, and we're streaming live on YouTube, so go onto YouTube on www.youtube.com/smooth981fm. Now today on the show I have a very special guest all the way from South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa. The plugs that I pull for you guys on the show, you don't need to buy me gifts, okay? It's not easy. Joining me live today is children's author Vennessa Scholtz. Hey, Vennessa, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. It's a sunny day here in Cape Town as well.
Wow. I can see from your window out there, it's quite beautiful there. As always, Vennessa is a multi-award-winning journalist from Cape Town, South Africa. Her book, Kinta and the Dusty Red Road, won the 2016 Golden Bubble Award for picture books, and is her first story for children in this particular age category. She's a full-time media liaison and also a wife, a mom, and a blogger. And I tell you, she juggles quite a lot, being a journalist, a wife, a mother, and also being a blogger as well. How do you do everything? How do you do it? But hey, we're going to be reviewing her book. It's published under Farafina Books, under their children's platform, which is called Tutti. Okay, so Farafina Tutti. It's published under there. It's quite an affordable book and really pretty. The first one, which is an award-winning book already, is called Kita and the Dusty Red Road, and then the second is Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy. I'm interested to find out about, much about, the thought process when it came to writing these characters in this book. But first, let's start off with, writing for you. I mean, being a journalist, you are indeed, you've been writing for us. I like to think you've been writing for as long as I can remember, but when did you decide to start writing children's book? Was it, when you became a parent, or, creative writing kind of leaned you towards writing children's book?
I was always writing. I didn't have a particular interest, like you say, until I had kids. But because kids work, I just never got around to it. And then in 2015, when I saw the Golden Baobab advert on the internet, I thought, you know what, maybe now's the time to actually just sit down and do this. And that's what I did. Unfortunately, the boys, because I have two sons, they were in high school, so there was a little bit of time to do that.
Now, when you said you had boys, it just really came to mind that, oh my goodness, my last author was a guest as well. She also do have two boys, but her book was about a girl a young girl. So I'm like, why did you decide, female, knowing that you had boys? I mean, were they inspiration in the back of my writing this book? I'm going to write it, and I'm going to show you that girls could also be this as well. Or, what was the inspiration behind that?
That as well, and because both my boys fortunately are readers, and there was more than enough material for them. They could go to we have public libraries in South Africa, so they could go and they could get books, anything that they could find. It was always about boys. There was more than enough material for them. Their tastes vary when it comes to reading genres, but they had a wide choice. And there was even when I grew up, I had Nancy Drew. I almost think that was all of it. I can't think of anybody, and the only time you read about girls, it was in combination with boys. The Mysterious Five, the big names, they were never alone. And I thought, you know what, boys need to know that girls can have adventures too, and they can save the world on their own.
And this it's quite interesting about when it comes to representation, really, and the girl child. Not many, we don't see that many, especially in African texts, and it's such a welcome development. Talk to me about Kita and the Dusty Red Road. It's about Kita loves to kick up dust along the red dusty road. She doesn't listen when her mama wants her not to do this. Now, one day, she kicks up so much red dust as she awakens the dust eater. Kita is scared. Can anybody save her? I'm really interested about Kita. Is such a troublemaker, and I really love the skin color. This is a picture book. The pictures, everything about it is fascinating, but also a very compelling story, because you want to find out at the end, if really there was a dust eater, and so much more. But tell us a bit about, Kita, the journey to Kita and the Dusty Road, and also the award, Golden Baobab Prize.
I was actually busy writing something else for the Golden Baobab when and I was kind of stuck with my thought processes, and I thought, okay, let me see if I can write something shorter just to get the creative juices flowing. And that's when Kita was born, and I like to think I modeled Kita a bit after myself, because I was quite a troublemaker when I was much younger. So me having sons, I couldn't really blame them. They were only taking after their mom if they were naughty and so on. But Kita was born, and I entered her into the junior category, and I was quite surprised when she won. I was excited but surprised because, like I said, I was actually busy with something else, which I thought I had put so much effort into, and then Keita was the one who wowed the judges.
Wow. Wow. And then for the next story, which I find to be I mean, I was reading, I was watching, I think it was reading an article or a video, and I think it was with Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and it was the popular hibiscus and also half of a yellow sun and also Americana writer, and she was talking about the politics of hair and how we can talk about basketball or football and politicize it, but then when we come to hair or beauty or women, we kind of want to say, well, it's just hair, it's just what it is. And this, your next book or your second book, which is Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy, really kind of, when I read it, it was such a heartwarming story about Dada Ade and, her hair and this journey to find good hair. But talk to me about the inspiration behind this particular book, Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy.
Dada is an idea that was actually birthed quite a few years ago. And I had a conversation with the young daughter of a friend, and she must have been 4 or 5 at the time. And she was saying to me how her friends were making fun of her because of her hair and how she would love to change hair with me. And I thought, well, I don't like my hair either because I've got curly hair. And I thought, you know what? There's a story there. But it took quite a few years to get to this point because I wanted to write something that would be inspirational, because even in South Africa, hair is a big thing. It does, as you say, it does become politicized at times, well, here at least. But I wanted, and especially colored and Black girls, to feel good about themselves because we are beautiful. I know when you look in the mirror, you don't always think so. I'm always thinking, you know what, my hair's too thin, it's too curly, that kind of thing. But that's not the kind of message we should be sending to young children, because they grow up like that. And as they're growing, they want to change everything about themselves. And we can't blame them because we're giving them images that say, this is how you should look and this is how you should act. And I wanted to be a part of a process that makes a positive change.
And it is indeed a positive change. This story really, in a search to find the good hair fairy, she comes in contact with quite the amount of animals and characters. And I keep telling myself, okay, you know what, this is a children's book. It's okay for her to come in contact with this, with these people by the roadside. But it's like, can you move owl and, chicken and goat and doggy? She's trying to get to good hair fairy. And when she finds a good hair fairy, it's quite an interesting encounter because the good hair fairy looks exactly like her.
That's it, yes. And that was the message, that good hair is not necessarily, or it's not about what's on your head. That it doesn't matter what we look like, it's how we interact as people, it's how we treat others, it's how we treat ourselves, how we see ourselves. And that was essentially the message from the Good Hair Fairy, is that, you know what, you could lose your hair tomorrow because of circumstances or illness, and but it's what's inside of you that's important.
And it's inside of you and what you give back to the world that's really important. Looks can be, it's all about vanity. But talk to me about your journey so far into writing, and how are you able to juggle everything, being a mother, having a career, being a wife, and then a blogger, everything all together. Has it been so far in this journey?
It keeps me busy. I'm a lazy blogger. I don't blog as often as I probably should, or as much as I would like to. But you know what? You find time. I'm an avid knitter. I knit literally hundreds of things each year for charity. and that I do when I'm watching something on I'm never doing one thing at a time. I multitask most of the time, well, except when I'm working, in case the boss is listening. So, when I'm watching something on TV, I'm knitting, or I've always got a notebook, whether we're going on holiday. Even when I go to church, I hope the pastor isn't listening. Because inspiration strikes when you least expect it. I've got a notebook and a pen next to my bed. And thinking, okay, I'm going to remember this in the morning. You don't. So you actually need to, sometimes the next morning, I can't even make out what it is that I was writing the previous night. But you know what? You find time. I think if we look at our days, there are times when you just do nothing, or you could have spent the time better.
And that's true right there. We're gonna take a very quick break at this point. When we come back on the other side, I'm gonna talk to you a bit about the children's book world, and as children growing up and books that we find. Has it changed so far when it comes to children's book accessibility to books about representation when it comes to African, saying more books about things that we're familiar with, similarities that we have. Have it changed from when we were kids and now that we're adults? Have we seen it? Are there strides, or is there still much development that needs to be made in that industry? But we'll be back. Stay with us. This is a Smooth Book Review Show. My name is Judith Atibi. My guest is all the way live from Cape Town. She is Vennessa Scholtz. She is the writer of Kita and the Dusty Road and Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
On Smooth 98.1.
All right, so we're taking a very short break. It's just a quick break, and then we'll be back. Bless you. Stay with us.
I'm super excited to be Artist of the Month.
This month on the Casbah.
Okay, well done.
Artist of the Month.
I have a book read today, and I'm the same time going back and forth. We have a book read event that I'm hosting today, so I'm going to share the author of the book. So
multitasking, see.
It's not easy at all.
Inspiring, motivated.
It's Smooth Motivations every Sunday morning on Smooth 78.1.
Emotional quotient to go through the highs of what it takes to be successful.
Tune in to get the recipe for living. It's everything you'll ever need. The Smooth Motivations every Sunday from 7 a.m.
You have to maintain your cool.
Things changed when I discovered African books. The Smooth.
All right, we're coming back.
On Smooth 98.1.
Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. You're welcome back to Smooth Book Review Show. My name is Judith Atibi. It's 18 minutes gone past 10 a.m. on a beautiful Saturday morning here in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. The very first Saturday of the month of May 2021. And we're excited that, vaccines are out and people are out on the streets, and some cities are open. The world is going back as we used to know it to be. my guest live, joining me live via Zoom. She's all the way in Cape Town. She's a children's book author. Her name is Vennessa Scholtz. The name of her book is Kita and the Dusty Road, Red Road, I beg your pardon, and Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy. You can get those books. They are on Farafina Books, so go grab them. quite affordable books. And they're so compelling that, you know, I mean, if you don't have kids, just buy it for yourself. Come on. Besides, you might learn a thing or two when it comes to your hair and good hair and what it really means when you get Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy. So Vennessa, it's good to have you back to join me here. Very quickly, before I asked a question before the break, and it's about really the industry when it comes to, you know, children's book. Back when we were kids, I mean, I know when I was a kid over 30 years ago, if there's one thing that was for certain was that there were not that many, you know, African girl child representation, brown, black girls representation in books. And even as an African child in Nigeria, there were not that many accessibility, you know, to children's book, you know. And now that I'm older, unfortunately, I don't have kids, so I cannot tell, you know, if that has changed in terms of accessibility, you know, to children's book and, you know, to schools. But has that changed as an author? Is that I mean, of course, you want more hands on your books. You want, you know, people to access your books, you know. But you know, what are challenges you've seen, and are you seeing more of these books come out now, you know, with representation and all of that?
It has definitely changed. There are a lot more Black authors, and there's a lot more representation, but not enough. There's always more we can do, and a long way still to go. We are fortunate in South Africa, and in Cape Town at least, we have public libraries where, I don't know how many people know this, but even as soon as your baby's born, your baby can join the library. And you can go and get books for them. They have story time. So it's definitely easier and it's more accessible, but we've got a long way to go still. I follow quite a few publishing houses on Twitter, and so many of the books that come out, it's still boys that are going on adventures and doing things, and it's very few Black children, and especially girls. So we've got a long way to go still in terms of that. We've also got something amazing here called Book Dash, which aims to write, illustrate, publish a book in a day. And the idea is to get books into the hands of children. And I think that's the problem, is that we actually need to get books into the hands of our children, because if you have to choose between buying a book and feeding your family, the book is going to be the last thing on the list. So it needs to be made more accessible and just easier for kids to just be able to read.
That's most importantly, easier for kids to be able to read. When it comes to improving, you know, the reading culture in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, I would say that public libraries are something that is almost extinct. I mean, you can find libraries, but mostly universities, but not public libraries. I'm sure that's not the case in South Africa.
No, in Cape Town alone, we have about 104 libraries.
Oh, show off.
Yeah. Of course, with COVID, it's a little bit different in that the books have to be sanitized in between lenders, but we've got 104 libraries, and the libraries are fairly accessible.
And that when you say fairly accessible, I mean, not everyone can access the libraries. That's it.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily that you can walk to one. And that would be the ideal, is that you'd be able to walk to your library.
When it comes to teachable moments for young children, and, you know, and stories that, you know, teach a lessons, you know, is that your aim with every book? Because I know, you know, with Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy, you're trying to, you know, teach a very, you know, very compelling story. Not just a compelling story, we're trying to teach a lesson when it comes to good hair. And also when it comes to Kita and the Dusty Red Road, you're also trying to tell her, don't be naughty and just listening to mommy. But mean, should all children's book always have a teachable moment? Does it necessarily have to have a moral, story? Although that's really African to always be, there should be a moral to every story. But I mean, don't you think that some books should be enjoyable just for kids to have fun?
I think we learn from every book you read.
Mm.
Whether the author sets out to actually make it a teachable moment, I don't know, but I think you learn from every book, and I think it should actually be a part of every book. That you shouldn't even know that you're learning something. That's a good book. It's where, when you relate the story later, you realize, but hang on, that's something I didn't know, or that's actually a good lesson in life. It shouldn't be obvious that you're being taught.
It shouldn't be obvious that you're being taught, and that's a really good one. When it comes to your characters, their names are so familiar, especially Dada Ade. I mean, when it came to the editorial part of editing the book, was this originally the names you wanted to go for, or you changed the last minute when it came to editing and the editors?
No, I have a thing with names. I love names and what they mean. So Kita, for instance, in Swahili, it means firm in the face of danger.
Ah.
Yes, and I didn't actually set out. I just loved the sound of the name. And only later, when I researched it, I found that, and I thought, you know what, it's actually just so appropriate. And the same with Dada Ade again. I was looking for a name that would be easy on the tongue, but that would actually mean something. So I do actually choose names that are more than just a name. It should be an identity almost.
It should be an identity, and names are identity. Stay with us. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back on the other side, I would ask our guest this time, and what's more on our sleeves? Should we see more picture books like this ones? What's more to come from our author? Stay with us. This is the Smooth Book Review Show. My name is Judith Atibi. Don't go anywhere.
On Smooth 98.1.
I forgot to play the ads.
Yes, you have to pay the bills.
To pay the bills. I'm in trouble. Okay, so it's just one ad. I totally forgot, and I'm looking at them like, oh my god, I forgot to play the ads. They're gonna send me an email in the morning.
Oh, does it have to be exactly at the right time?
Unfortunately, it depends on the ad. So there's some ads that they want it at a particular time. There's some that you can skip the hour, but as long as you play it, Okay. But this one was timed for the 20 mark, and we're now 6 minutes late. And I didn't know. So I'm gonna play that and then come back and just talk about really what you have more in store when it comes to children's book. Workbooks. You have workbooks. More educational stuff, or do you intend to do more with this? And maybe talk about the thing you were writing on before that never really got to see the light of day. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Just waiting for the break. All right, we'll come back in. Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. This is a Smooth Book Review Show. 28 minutes gone past at 10 a.m. It's the 1st of May 2021, the very first Saturday of the month, and I was always excited to be here. My name is Judith Atibi. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. We're streaming live on YouTube, so go onto our YouTube page and catch us live on www.youtube.com/smooth981fm. You can also join us on WhatsApp and send us our WhatsApp message to 0809-444-0981. It's a children's book edition today because the month of May is Children's Month, I think. But hey, we're reviewing the book Kita and the Dusty Road, and also Dada Ade and the Good Hair Fairy, and it's by Vennessa Scholtz. And she joins me live today via Zoom all the way from Cape Town. She's a children's book author. She's a journalist, award-winning journalist, and also a mother, a wife, and a blogger. She joins me live today to talk all about her book, inspiration behind the book, and also what's in store for the future. But before that, you were talking to me about how you're writing a particular work. You had another work that you're doing. I know I'm trying to pry. Okay, so bear with me. You were doing something else, and then somehow this award came, and and Kita and the Dusty Road head on to become a Red Road head on to become an award-winning book, a picture book for children. But you were doing something, and since you stumbled on children's book and writing for children, do you intend to go, adult or contemporary literature anytime soon?
I'm always writing, so I am trying to my hand at writing something a little more adult. But the book that or the story that I was working on when Kita came along, and what I'm trying to do now is actually, I'm a big fan of superheroes and the action, the whole sort of comic hero genre. So I'm actually working on a Black girl superhero.
Nice.
I'm trying. Yeah, I love the whole sort of X-Men Marvel universe. But I think they need a younger Black female face there to kind of save the world.
I mean, don't you think the Wakandan women there's Storm, of course, and there's I'm also a Marvel head as well, so I'm trying to think of, there's Storm, there's Okoye, there's a Shuri. I think they tried to develop a story about Shuri, but again, it's just a back shoot from
That's the thing. The women are never front and center when it comes to saving the world. They're a supporting role, if that much, but it's left to the men to save the world.
And it's such a I think it's really good. I think we need more Afrofuturistic books, if that makes any sense. We need more Afrofuturism, especially now. Wakanda and what's called again, Black Panther being such a huge hit, and then we see books like Children of Bone and Blood. There's also Nnedi Okorafor with all of our books, Bintu and the rest. It's quite interesting to see more Afrofuturism, and also to introduce many genres to children as well.
Yes,
I'm really excited to see that being actualized. But so I mean, your next children's book might be about Afrofuturism, maybe. I'm
I'm working on it.
I'm speculative now, but is it going to be about Afrofuturism?
That's where it's leaning towards at the moment. No, definitely. Because it's like you said, these movies are huge hits. These characters, we all know their names, but again, the women they're all beautiful, but they're the clever ones. Yes, they help save the world, but it's not really them. If it wasn't for the Black Panther, then would she have been able to do it on her own? Probably not. And we like to talk about how strong women are, and how in South Africa, you strike a woman, you strike a rock, all that kind of thing, but they're never strong enough to take the lead, to lead the charge. And that's something I would like to change.
Is it a stereotype that they like to think that, women are not the muscles, men are the muscles, and so they need to save the world, and women can be the brains, and how do you put it? How is this a thing that they say men are the head and women are the neck, and the head cannot leave without the neck? I honestly don't know what that is. I don't know the meaning of that, but I hear it every time, and it blows my mind. I mean, what kind of analogy is that? But
it's definitely a stereotype, but I think we also have to acknowledge that physically we'll never be as strong as men.
Mm.
And unfortunately, it's just the way that we're built.
Mm-hmm. It's science.
Yes, it's the science. It's biology. That's the way it is. But that doesn't mean that brains cannot be the one to save the world and to make a difference.
True. Very true. Very true. Cannot mean that brains cannot be the one to save the world, because hey, when you look at it, the people who are the frontiers of changing our world and taking us back to normal is science, and they don't need muscles. All they need is their brains, to do the things they're supposed to do. You're gonna say something.
No, I was going to say as well, and especially now, we find a lot of women in science. And what has been interesting for me the last few months is how many women have been involved in science in sort of major world events, but nobody ever noted their names. Nobody ever, when the accolades were given, it was given to the men, and nobody mentioned the women that were in the background, sort of helping this, along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's really true. I mean, as more and more as we go into more in depth into our science and even our history, a lot of things are becoming. I mean, I think I read a story once about Einstein and how his wife was very instrumental to all of his achievements, and it's kind of mind blowing how she was just put to the sidelines in spite of everything that she's achieved, and it's such a shocking thing to see. Now, speaking about science and our world, and and COVID, has it been like for you, in book tours and promoting your books, given that this is your first time as a children's book author? Has COVID had any impact on promotion and everything else?
It has. It has delayed the actual publishing.
Oh.
Because I think everything just shut down around the world about last year this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, going out to schools and that kind of thing, that can't happen. In South Africa, we're on level 1, so the kids are going to be going back to school. They've been at school, but I think soon they'll all be able to go at the same time. But still, everything changes.
It's not the same. It's not the
No,
same.
and I don't think, you were talking earlier about going back to normal. I don't think that's going to happen for a while. Because I mean, even in the US, even with the vaccine, they're still saying to people, when you're in a crowd, keep wearing your mask, even if you've been vaccinated.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time, and Corona might not be the last of these things that take us by storm.
And one just has to adapt, really.
Yes.
But this is quite the book, really, and just reading this story, especially I never really talked about Kita and the Dusty Road, and it's such an interesting book. I think I want to read an excerpt from the book, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
Just to read an excerpt of the book, and it's such a. When mother wants you to do something and you don't listen, and then you go ahead to do it, yeah, something always is lurking in the background, and it's going to affect you. Just listen to your moms, okay? If you listen to me out there. So I'm going to take 2 or 3 pages from Kita and the Dusty Road. It's by Vennessa, Scholtz, and she's my guest today. It's already an award-winning book, and it's a picture book. It's such a beautiful book, and Kita is so pretty with a yellow dress and a blue shoes, and of course her hair packed in 2 pigtails. So let's get started, shall we? Kita walks home slowly today, her feet plop into the red dust of the road. There's a cloud of red dust all around her feet. Kita loves working on the dusty red road. Mama tells Kita not to make red dust clouds. Mama says if the red dust cloud grows, it will become a dust eater. Dust eaters swallow little girls in one big bite. Kita doesn't think that story is true. Mama just doesn't want her to get her pretty dress all dirty with the red dust. Doff. Kita stomps her left foot on the ground to see if the dust cloud can get bigger. Puff. She stomps down her right foot. Duff, puff, puff. The red cloud doesn't get bigger. Her feet just turns redder as she kicks up more dust. Kita doesn't have to walk on the dusty road to her house. The grass is soft and green on the side of the road. That's where Mama wants her to walk. It's much safer to walk on the path, Mama says. There are children on tricycles and grown-ups on bicycles who use the road. Kita can get hot, Mama says. But Kita loves walking on the dusty red road. She doesn't mind that her little feet and toes are covered in red dust. And Kita doesn't listen. And it goes on and on and on in a journey, and she just doesn't listen. And until she finds what she's looking for, as a dust eater. But hey, it's been wonderful having you join me today on the show. But before I let you go, how can they, of course, you can get it on Farafina Bookstore, but how can we find you, on social media, and how can they get the books? And hopefully there are going to be more picture books from you, but hey, tell us where we can find you.
Yes, Farafina did an absolutely amazing job with the illustrations. I think even when I imagined what Kita and Dada Ade looked like, that wasn't what I, they did a very good job. So the illustrations are simply, it's really something special.
Very special.
Yes. So I'm on Facebook. It's the way you spell my name and my surname, Vennessa Scholtz. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Vennessa Scholtz. I thought I'd just make it easy instead of using lots of numbers or letters or funny words. Just go with my name.
Anyway, you can get this book. Go on to Farafina Books. Big shout out to them for sending out this book today. It's on Farafina, so go on to farafinabooks.com. I think that's what it is. You can get this book. It's so affordable, and it's great gift for little girls and little boys as well. And to go grab the book. And it's such an amazing and so lovely. And you might get a chance to see what Kita looks like, and also what Dada Ade looks like, and also the Good Hair Fairy as well. So go on and grab it on there on Farafina Books, and big shout out to them as well. You can also follow my guest. She's Vennessa Scholtz on Twitter, Facebook, and of course on Instagram. It's at Vennessa. So I'm sure you're going to type a VA. It's not a VA. It's a VE and double N, and then of course the ESSA. Okay, so that's Vennessa. Okay,
that's not my fault. That was on my birth certificate.
It's okay. We forgive you. So go on there and look for her. Surname is Scholtz. Okay, and go grab this book. And we need more children's book and see more representation in children's as well for brown and black girls. And this is so important for brown and black children. Doesn't even matter if they're girl or boy. It's so important to diversify our children's readings and to make sure that they grab and also start to read as much as they can. So today, if it's your niece or your nephew or that kid down the road's birthday, this is a good book you should get for them. All right, so go grab it. Vennessa, thank you so much for joining me today on the show.
Thank you so much, Judith. I had so much fun.
Thank you. And also you can join us same time next week. Going to be another exciting episode here on the Smooth Book Review Show. As always, you can catch a replay of this particular episode. It's going to be on YouTube, so go on there and catch it live on YouTube on www.youtube.com/smooth981fm. Follow us on all social media platforms. We are at smooth981fm on Twitter, at smooth981 on Instagram. You can go onto our website. It's www.smooth981fm. Join us at 11 o'clock sharp. It's going to be time for Total Football. Total Football gang is here in the studio and ready for you to go. They are ready and pumped up for you to go inside of the world of football. My name is Judith Atibi. And you can catch me on all social media platforms. I am at Judith Atibi on Instagram and at Judith_Atibi on Twitter. I added a special effect to my name. It's goodbye from me now, and everyone, goodbye. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and well done. And we hope to see more from you in the future.
Thank you. I actually hope that as soon as all of this is done, I can actually come over there and meet everybody in person.
Me too. I cannot wait for this to be over. I cannot wait for it. And that there'll be.
Or you could come to Cape Town and we can show you the beach and the mountain and.
Thank you.